Welcome to CoexSpace Global Summit, where we remember, reflect, and act. This is a place to inspire and make a call to action to change the world.
And what a treat we have for all of us right now. A dear friend, a woman that inspires with every move, whether she's laughing, whether she's looking at you with those intense eyes, or simply just soothing that amazing soul we have with us, Susana Weisleder. She has become a dear, dear friend and almost like a soul sister to me, because her essence is something that we can all just be blessed by. So Susana, we're talking about CoexSpace. We know that that's something that's very much about you, your journey, your essence. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and how your family and the place where you come from has fed into what CoexSpace is, the seed that was planted into that fertile soil of your soul so that this could come to life.
Thank you, Gloria. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And I was born and raised in a family where love, compassion, and service to others were the main elements that exist in our house. My father was an oncologist, a doctor. He worked for the public service. And since we were young, we knew that we had only to do things that will help others. My mother always was by his side, and she was taking care of the programs of quitting smoking. So also she was working for serving other people, Venezuelan people. I was born and raised in Venezuela. Since I was young, as I told you, I always heard that we have to do everything for the good of humanity. That was my teachings. I was a very free soul, and my mother used to say to my sisters and brother that we were the best. Since I was a little girl, I knew that I wanted to design spaces. I love to paint, I love to sing, I love to perform, but I love to design, to do architecture. So I went to study architecture when I was 17 years old. I studied in Israel, and that's the only thing I wanted to do. For me, architecture was a way of expressing through a physical space what people could feel, what emotion could be moved in that space. CoexSpace was born from that belief. I was with my friend Ilana Becker. She's an amazing architect. We had a lot of experience in human empathy, respect, coexistence. And we were participating in competitions. Why? Because architectural competitions was a space where we could design whatever we wanted. No rules. I mean, we never respected rules.
I love that.
That's different.
I love it.
There were rules. So CoexSpace was born from this. We were saying that we wanted to create a space where people could feel empathy, could feel the suffering and the pain of others, everything through experience, not through intellect, not through reading or learning, but through their senses. So CoexSpace was born from there, a place where you could learn what means pain, what means exclusion, what means bullying, what means being on a school shooting, means being discriminated by the color of your skin, of the way you think. And we designed a space that answered or gave the possibility to have that experience inside.
So I know that you have designed many sacred spaces. I mean, I even have this beautiful book of one of your these gorgeous spaces, and every little bit has a meaning.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about that point of transformation in your life, that which, kind of took you to the next level in this, what I called a sacred gift that you have.
Okay. I have all my life been on a road to find answers to my questions. I always knew that life doesn't limit it to what we see. It extends from what we see to a broader view. But it was very difficult for me to understand and to see. And that's not a subject that you can talk with everybody. I mean, it's a very difficult subject. So I started to design, but through my process, looking for the spiritual world,
Beautiful.
I touched spaces which were a little bit unsafe, not with any type of external elements, but with myself. So in one of my experience, I had an experience in which I went to another life, another space, another place, which I didn't recognize and which I didn't know what we were talking about. So I had to go to therapy. I have to start to do therapy. And I was very lucky that my therapist understood my quest. Okay? At that time, I went into a competition for the Museum of the Sephardic community. And that design was completely inspired. I have to say, and I can say it with very humility, that the only thing that I do is that I draw what I feel. I don't use intellect. For me, the result comes from inside. So I started to design that museum, and one part of this museum, the museum had 5 slides. The first was very clear. It was related to the whole, to God. And for me, it was clear. Each one was related to something that the people that left Spain had to move from the Inquisition to find a new world we're living. But there was a slide that I couldn't solve, and it was the slide of the path. And this is related to the throat. And I was working this in therapy, and when I resolved my problem with my throat, the architectural solution came to light.
Wow.
So I understood that architecture is a projection of my inner life. What I feel is what I project.
Beautiful. So in that process of transformation, usually when we transform or when we have those aha moments, we have to let go of something so that we make space for the new. So what is it specifically that you let go of that then changed everything you do from there on?
That's a very difficult space for me because I am I love to have control of everything. It's not so easy for me to let it go. Okay? But when I saw the miracles, when I saw how God answered a question that I had inside, I said, wait, you have to be confident that the answer is going to come. And that's the way I started to work with all my projects, not only institutional and big projects, also my houses, my small projects. I got connection with the person, and I received what he felt, and
you translated it into your work.
Into architecture.
So do you feel that we have to go kind of through an individual transformation in order to provoke a collective transformation? Is that something that you think CoExSpace is going to help materialize?
I believe we have to go first to a personal transformation. But I believe the foundations of your house, of your family, and I'm telling this to everybody, even you have to do an effort to transmit to your kids or to your grandkids the foundations of what the world it's gonna be the best world to live in. That's the base. But then when you go through a personal transformation, and I want to tell you, co-space for me was a challenge. Because I have to be very honest. I'm not so, I know how to coexist because I was raised and I was taught to respect and love others even if I didn't agree with them. And I had a lot of discussions with my mother about that because she said to me always, everybody's good. And I said, that's not true. But from her, I learned that even if it's not true what I feel, I have to do the effort to coexist with that person, or what that person that makes me a spark to be angry or to not love her. So there were many concepts inside co-space that I didn't agree with them, but I didn't agree because they were part of my pre-beliefs, preconceptions. And when I started to work them inside of myself, I said, wait, yes, I cannot judge. I have to respect. I have to understand. I don't have to tolerate you, but I have to coexist with you.
So do you think that, because co-space is going to be more than just a space, right? It's a movement. It's a way of thinking. It's kind of like provoking new ideas in a new conversation. Do you think that when people get to go through that space, they will also be transformed? Is that the ultimate goal?
Yes, I have no doubt about it. And I wish our building, it's going to be built very soon. Co-space was designed based on 3 principles: remembrance, reflections, and the will to act. Remembrance is a space where all the difficult times, genocides, difficult times starting from wars, bullying, shooting in schools, the feeling of a kid that is sitting in the floor and he's feeling that life could be ended in a moment. You will get to this space in our building that we wish it's going to be built very soon through a black hole. The black hole is going to bring you down to that moment against the clock, through a ramp against the clock. Why? Because all these situations drew back time. There you're going to have a virtual reality experience, which is not the same as intellectual experience. You can keep everything in your head with the intellect, but when you feel it, it moves. Then you go through the ramp of the dilemma to the reflection, where you're going to have the space or the space for thinking what happened and what action would I take. Would I help? Would I go into the classroom and save the kid? Or would I say, no, I'm afraid, I prefer to stay outside? That's extreme.
So it's about being true to yourself and make a decision also.
Exactly. It's making the decisions that will help the other person. It's not easy. It's very easy to tell because in my personal path, I have asked myself all these questions. Would I risk my life? Or would I stake aside, sign a check, and send some help?
So it's interesting because you say the words quest, journey, answering my questions. Like you're constantly on that path of finding out what's next, but also going back, like you said, remembering, going back into what is really, or what was, but what is today. And it's a deep journey that then manifests into a space, into a movement, into a global awakening. So it's really powerful. You are the type of woman that leads with beauty. You like to bring about beauty. You know, we're here, everything that surrounds us it's beautiful. You speak the truth and you speak your truth above all, constantly. but you also have this quiet strength. You're like, you lead with silence. How do you do that in a world that's chaotic, that's loud, that's always pushing for people to kind of be in everyone's faces abruptly? And how is that woven into the fabric of what CoExpace has become?
It's a difficult question because I live my life in movement, in action, in chaos. But it's an organized chaos. I always say that you can know that God exists because we live in a world, when you go to a forest, you see chaos. When you get into the branch, you see that the leaves are organized. So there is an order
To the chaos.
to the chaos. I believe CoExpace is going to give this gift to the people that are going to come. You know, we are orienting this space to the last 2 years of high school and the people of university mainly. We want them to feel this transformation. But the order, it's going to be, if I understood well your question, it's going to be received at the third station, where after all this chaos, what I'm feeling, what's happening with me, I'm going to get into a place where I'm going to be offered many opportunities to act, where your will to act will take place, where you're going to decide if you want to give 1 hour of your time to save the planet or to clean the beaches or whatever you want. So we're going to have like a closing space that will hold you and will tell you everything that you're feeling is right. And here you can decide where you want to help.
Beautiful.
I hope this answered.
No, absolutely. So in that process, you know, you have a creator, and in this moment, you kind of embodied this creator role, and then you have the creation, right?
Yes.
That you and Ilana and everyone else that's involved. That's the creation. But usually a creation demands something from us, something that we need to sacrifice, something we need to give in order for this to be birthed. What has CoExpace demanded of you?
I don't see it that way. I always see that as a gift. And I always work like this. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. That's my way.
Beautiful.
And it's not about religion. God gave me the tools to do what I have to do. I understood this since I was very, very young, that I had that tools. So I have to use that tools for creating. And I always say, thank you. I know how to organize my time because I am a wife, a sister, a mother of 3, a grandmother of 9, and I do have time for all of them, and they know that.
And you're an amazing friend, that you give yourself fully to your friends.
But you know what's the secret?
Yes, tell me.
Doing this with joy and with love. I love everything that I do. And that's part of my message. And it doesn't say that I haven't had difficult times, but because I did have difficult times. And I had losses in my life that were like a step or marks, highlights that told me, okay, you have to make a change. Okay, you have to make a change. But I use a lot of observation. I watch everything. For me, nothing happens for granted. Nothing happens without me taking or paying attention to the signals. Everything has something to say to me.
There's a lesson in every step of the way.
But everything in my daily life, everything has a reason.
So it's beautiful because you've created a choreography of something that is deep within. The word feeling has come out many times. It's like I feel it, it's inspired, it comes to me, and then I say thank you. So it's this very emotional and deeply spiritual process, but it's also very, in a way, like you say, the order in the chaos, it's very also logical. There's an infusion of the knowledge, right? The knowledge that you've acquired in this journey, in this quest, that is being put into this. How do you translate your process to working with a team?
Oh, I love it. I love it because I love, and again, I learned this in my house. My parents were community people. They taught us to hear, to share, and that everybody that surrounds us is important. So in my co-space team, I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be happier because Ilana and myself are architects, but Ilana is an expert in coexistence. So I have learned from her a lot. I have learned a lot of architecture. Well, I love symbolic architecture, so I had to study about that. Vivian, which she's the director of the summit, she's a spiritual person, and her energy is amazing. Just only sitting by myself, by my side, she infuses the power of spirituality. Beautiful. And that's beautiful. Sitting with you, I can see your love for this interview, what you're doing.
Beautiful.
And everybody that has come to CoexSpace has added. And life is a path of adding. It's an individual path for my growing inside.
Correct.
But when you are doing something for service, you have to incorporate, you have to include everybody.
Yes. So one day your grandchildren are want to walk through CoexSpace. What are you expecting for them to experience?
We are doing CoexSpace for leaving a legacy, but it's not a legacy of being famous. It's as I told you, it's a space where we want our grandkids, the young generation, to understand what kind or what type of world they want to live in. They have to understand that we are different, that we think different. Even though we look the same, we are not the same. Each of us is an individual, and I want them to feel that. My feeling is going to be that when my grandson will come and will say, I was in CoexSpace, I love the space, I love the feeling, this is going to be the best gift. Not who did the building, what he felt inside.
The experience.
What was the experience?
Everything that we've talked about reminds me also of my family, right? The influence of your parents on you, on your siblings, on your influence and your husband's influence on your children, and they to their children. Generational transformation is at the core of what CoexSpace is.
Exactly. That's good.
So what would be that ultimate message? If you had one message to say, if a person did not even hear this entire interview, but there's one message to say about the essence of this space, of this movement, of this desire to bring about transformation, what would that be?
Okay. We have to understand that we live in a world full of differences. Different people, different movements, a different way of thinking. And these days, the world we are living, the artificial intelligence, it's making us to live the world faster. I love that because I love movement, okay? But we have to stop. We have to watch our neighbor, the person that's sitting side by side, understand that even if we don't like him, or I don't tolerate your voice, I don't tolerate the way you walk, I don't care. I have to coexist with you. Coexist means living with empathy, living with respect, living with understanding that we are different. That's it. And we have to make it ours, inside of us. Coexistence, it's very different of the word tolerance. I don't have to tolerate you, but I have to coexist. We have to know that we live on the same planet, and the planet has space for each of us. It's respect for the differences. That's it.
And just like the planet has space for each of us, CoexSpace has space for each of you. So thank you so much, Susana, for this interview. And thank you for this time. Hi. Thank you for what you've done for the world, because this is an amazing, amazing project, and I'm more than honored to be involved not only in this summit, but in what we're building for generations to come.
Amen. Thank you.